Melinda, hi.
Hi.
This is Melinda McGlasson, and she's from Oklahoma, near Tulsa, near Grand Lake, where Hannah and I are from. Well, I moved there when I was 15, but Hannah grew up there. But I actually Victory High School and some other things, so we have a lot of the same things. And you and your husband pastor a church on the panhandle of Oklahoma now?
Yes. Lifeway Christian Center.
Lifeway Christian Center, that's awesome. So while she was on her way to becoming an aspiring singer, Melinda took a drastic turn after she was diagnosed not just with ovarian cancer, but also stage 3 thyroid cancer. In the midst of her health challenges, she still, though, signed a recording contract. So she's here to tell us her story. Hi, Melinda.
Hi.
Great to see you. So music has been a lifelong passion for you.
Yes.
Tell us kind of how you got started in all of this.
Yeah, well, I started singing at the age of 5, starting at church camps, and then at church whenever they would allow me to sing, and it's just continued till here I am today.
Yeah, and you're a worship leader and just very passionate about music, and then you're pursuing this music career, and you're married, and life is going good, and you even have kids, and then all of a sudden you realize something's wrong with my body.
Yeah, and so in 2015, at the very beginning, I started losing my voice, and we kept going to different doctors. In fact, I went to 3 doctors just to try to figure out what was wrong, and they all kept giving me the same response. And then in August, I came back from church camp, and I started having a lot of pain on my right side. And so instead of going to church that morning, we went to the ER that morning, and they told me I had a large mass, about the size of, larger than a grapefruit size on my right side. And they ended up having to wheel me around in a wheelchair because the mass was twisting inside of me and just causing a lot of pain. And so I actually ended up having surgery that Friday. I had people praying for me all over the world. It was so humbling.
Wow.
And the cool thing about it was that when they took the mass out, they said, "It's not cancer." And God healed me from that. I really believe that He did. And then just 2 months later, they ended up finding out what was wrong with my voice. I had stage 3 thyroid cancer, and so I ended up going through all of that.
So that thyroid cancer was affecting your vocal cords?
Yes, and the cancer was reaching out into the back of my neck, and so I'm thankful that we caught it before it turned to stage 4.
So this was a super scary thing for you. I mean, stage 3 is still life-threatening, and it's in your thyroid. It's a very dangerous place to have it, and it's all over. And you've got kids. You got 3 kids, right?
Yes.
And a husband, and so you must have been like probably feeling really scared.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a human side of it. I knew what the Word said, and I knew that He said that He would heal me. I didn't know how He was going to heal me, but I knew He would. But the human side was still there, and very scary. You know, we're not just supernatural, I guess. And so I realized that. I had that moment.
So in the midst of like finding out you get cancer, your dream comes true, you get signed.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Like, and so it was the week that I was going in for surgery. And this guy from Nashville calls me. He says, "Hey, I've heard you sing, and I would like to sign you. I have 1 spot left." And I was like, "Is this a prank? Like, this is not funny." And anyway, but it wasn't a prank. It was actually God's way of showing me that, Melinda, I have so much more ahead for you than what you're seeing right here in this very moment.
Yeah.
And so I just grasped a hold of that. It gave me something to look forward to as well. And I actually wrote all the songs that are on my album during the time that I was going through cancer.
Like God's way of saying your calling is much bigger than your
Yes,
cancer.
Absolutely.
Was there any part of you that was like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't sign, maybe I should just focus on getting better or something like that?
Oh yeah, I always have those moments.
Yeah, sure.
And in fact, everybody around me was like, "Are you crazy? Like nobody gets a call from Nashville that says, 'Hey, we just heard you sing and we want to sign you.'" And so it was God's hands was on it the entire time, and we just saw His goodness.
Awesome. How's your health now?
Really good. I'm cancer free, and they just tested me 6 months ago. Yeah, thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, it's so good to hear. What do you say? You know, I mean, I remember Oral Roberts used to say everybody's a little bit sick. You know, everybody has a little something going on, but when you have something big like cancer, especially at your age, and you got little kids and stuff, I mean, what do you say to anybody who's here that has been struggling with a sickness for a long time, or maybe just got some really scary news? Do you have a word for them?
Absolutely. You know, the whole time, from the moment I was diagnosed to even this right now, I have to cast out fear. Like if something goes on, I immediately feel that fear feeling.
For people who are new to the faith, what does it mean to cast it out? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so when I say that, it means like you're always having these thoughts. Our mind is so powerful. And so when I say cast out fear, I mean like, when those thoughts come, just remember what God thinks about you. Like he wants to give you hope and a future. And so if thoughts are coming to you that is fearful, well, that's not of God.
Yeah.
And so you have to identify what's from the Lord and what's not. And so he had to show me all those things. And he also showed me Joshua 1:8 that says, be bold and to be courageous, for the Lord your God is with you. And so anybody who's going through something, I just say that God is with you. Just trust that he's faithful and that he'll endure to the end with you. And so just trust him.
That's awesome. Melinda McGlasson, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You can sing another song?
Yes, thank you.
All right, great. God bless you.